I'd like to call the January meeting of the Madison Board of Police Commission to order. We'll start out with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. I know there's another town meeting that is going on takes both Al Goldberg and Dick Fitzgerald away, so they both send their regrets. So is there a
motion to accept the December 2023 mittens? Anybody have any comments, observations, notes?
motion to accept the minutes? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Minutes are accepted. Thank you. Public comments. We'll be quiet on public comments. The chief is involved in a out-of-state meeting, and so we asked Captain Harkins to provide the chief's report and manage us through the meeting. Captain?
Good evening. Okay, so starting with the budget. This past month we're over in overtime due to being down 3 officers, and the holidays caused some replacement. There were some officers that took some time off due to the holidays, and we had to replace them. Next was vehicle maintenance. It was up this past month, because we have some older cars in our fleet that we plan on replacing this year. I believe the chief has spoken about that. Communications, $21,888 was spent on a new server for the department. The police department and the town's IT department split the cost of a new server. And lastly, police services and supplies. We bought 4 AEDs for $3,338, 7 taser cartridges, and 5 autism sensory bags, and 4 oxygen cylinder replacements. So that's where you see the increase in those 4 lines. All right.
So I know, Captain, there was a question as to when the vehicles would be coming online in terms of the impact. Have they arrived yet, or are they still waiting?
They're earmarked, so they were holding them up there. They're just
Okay.
waiting for payment. Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Activity statistics.
Okay, because this is a quarterly meeting, you'll see that the 2023 from October to December and 2022 from October to December. One of the things that I noticed that was a little different was a noticeable increase in motor vehicle enforcement, and I attribute that due to the 6 new officers that we have hired in the last year. And that's everything else is pretty much similar.
Well, let me just ask you maybe kind of, so if we look at the speed enforcement, the 3 months, October, November, December, almost 800 this year compared to about 300 last year. I mean, if we want to talk about the impact of additional officers and the impact on public safety, and if you take something like speeding and the consequences of speeding, I mean, those statistics kind of say, you know, anytime we talk about officer need, I mean, those are the statistics right there.
I agree, and I think a lot of the complaints that we receive via email or telephone are for speeding, a lot of motor vehicle complaints, so we're trying to address the public's concerns.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about a 250% increase in traffic. I mean, that's percentage-wise, that's enormous.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
We're very happy about that.
Well, one of the things we've talked about here is how delighted we would be if Madison becomes known as a speed trap. Come to Madison, pay a ticket.
Nobody has a southern accent, Ed, not to worry.
Yeah. Good. All right.
Next, just a quick comment on the recent storm. Fortunately, Madison wasn't hit terribly bad. We had some flooding and we had some power outages, but not too bad. In preparation for the storm, we had an additional dispatcher in our communications to be able to field the calls. We also had an additional officer assigned to the field just to make sure we had enough people to be able to respond in case the storm turned out to be worse than anticipated.
Were there any critical incidents because of the
No.
storm? Wow.
Nothing to report now. Next, just a quick tag. We just want to mention this. I know it's not December, but it's been a busy start to the new year. Okay, in the first week of January, we've had an attempted armed robbery. We've had a 3-car accident with injuries on Route 80, resulting in the accident reconstruction team responding, where a family had to be extricated from a car. We've had a commercial burglary and a firearm investigation where a sawed-off shotgun and a pistol were recovered. So it's been a busy 11 days in the town of Madison.
The armed incident, are you in a position to, was that an individual, was it a business? How did that play out?
There are ongoing investigations. I really can't say more than that, but I can get with you afterwards if you like.
Well, anytime we think, because of certainly the impact on certain neighborhoods, of the importance of parking and certain traffic issues, and then you hear we've got, armed robberies and those kind of commercial burglaries, it just, I think, reinforces the fact that we really have come to, the society we live in, we really have come to rely on the responsiveness and the capability of the staff in the police department. And these are not, minor, unheard of problems. This is the kind of the first 11 days of the month. So anyway, it's just unfortunate, but it's a reminder of what these officers deal with. Thank you. Training?
Yep, yes, sir. So for the month of December, the Madison Police Department participated in 234 training hours. The training consisted of body-worn dash cameras, crisis intervention, collect and NCIC recertification, and our SWAT officers go twice a month.
For the sake of the public, could you tell us a little bit how an instruction class would run for body cameras?
So currently, we have a contract with Post University. It's an online course. So the officers will come off the road, they'll tell their supervisor they're coming off the road, and they'll sit at a computer and they'll go through the test, go through the class online, and then they have to take an examination at the end. Okay? So that helps the police department in the sense where in the past we would have to take that person off the road completely, reassign them to training, and send them off-site to an actual training class in person. Many departments have changed to the online training, and it's really been beneficial. The cost savings has been tremendous, and the minute that the officer is done with the class, completes the class, he can go right back out onto the street and and help serve the town.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Traffic?
Okay, so the month of December, we've had 24 accidents. The most common reason is failure to grant right-of-way, failure to maintain lane, and animal strikes.
Thought the deer season was over. It's still.
I saw one the other day.
There were 2 on 79 yesterday morning about 7 o'clock. I think they were watching the school buses pull in.
Right. I know.
They're not afraid anymore.
It's almost like they're hesitating to come out to the road, I know.
Okay. Calendar,
Okay, community calendar. So in the month of December, we've had the Jingle Bell 5K. This event was held on December 10th, and it was to raise money for the Arthritis Foundation. The event took place at the Surf Club, and they hired 2 officers for security, and it went well. Next, I want to mention the toy drive. The Madison Police Department's toy drive took place during the November-December months. This event was highly successful. There were many toys and clothing donations from the community, and I would like to recognize Holly Burke for her hard work on that project. I believe over 31 families with over 70 children were assisted by this year's toy drive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you all.
Great.
Thank you, Howard.
great.
I have to say, the Madison community this year went above and beyond with their donations. When people realized that I had a wish list, because I contact each family, so they weren't just picking up a toy and putting it in a box. They knew that, you know, a child was asking for something in particular, and once that word got out and people realized that they couldn't buy enough, they were just, there
That's
wasn't
great.
anything that wasn't, you know, I had more things than I needed, so it's great.
Very generous.
And there were turkeys left over from Thanksgiving
Yeah,
that
so I
distributed
gave,
to?
so there were plenty, our food drive was very successful, so I was able to give the families that came in, I could have given them all a turkey, some of them didn't want a turkey, but most of them took a turkey, and the rest that we couldn't give to the families, that we couldn't use in Madison, went to the Shoreline Food Bank.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. Shared services?
I don't have anything for that, sir.
Okay. Correspondence? You want,
No.
nothing yet? Okay, we've covered traffic already. New business.
Okay, new business. So I just wanted to mention this past month, the Madison Police Department, a woman named Ashley McLean reached out to the Madison Police Department to discuss the LINK program, the Autism Safety Alert Program. This is a program that helps the Madison Police Department provide services to our autism community and their families. The Madison Police Department will compile an important individualized information about the person with autism, which will in turn be provided to the officers in the field. The information provided to the program is confidential and will only be used as needed by first responders. Providing this information will assist officers in making a positive connection and building relationships with individuals in our community on the autism spectrum. So each family that registers for the LINK program receives a family emergency planning folder with individualized instructions and a guide that includes tips and tools to navigate this program and an emergency situation. Additionally, the family emergency planning folder provides an emergency preparedness social story created by professionals, which is a personalized learning tool containing text and illustration that supports the safe and meaningful exchange of information between parents, professionals, and people with autism of all ages. Police cruisers will be equipped with sensory bags filled with tools to help work with a person on the autism spectrum during an emergency. Some of the items that might be in the cruisers would be air muffs, light canceling glasses, tactile toys. We already have 6 families signed up, and we just got it going. So
Wow.
it's really started off very well. And just to add a little bit more about the planning folders, the information they're talking about is they have a plan. Like, let's say for example, they have an autistic child, and let's say he wanders off. They have a plan in place to neighbors and family members to know where to look. Everyone has their own assignment. Everything's planned. So now when the officer gets the call, okay, the officer is now going there. They'll be able, in the CAD, that what we enter off that packet that they submit to be part of the program, the officer now gets the information on his computer. Doesn't like light, loves Batman. Things of that nature. So now when the officer goes there, you know, or they might say nonverbal. So now the officer knows, well, he's not say for example, being, resistant to police, he's nonverbal and he's autistic, so it's the information that the officer needs, so it helps everyone. So this is a really good program, so far, it's really taken off, but that information is crucial. The officer will get the information, the family and the neighbors will all be helping out, everyone works as a team, and I think that's, it's good.
Wow, so you have personal information that will allow the original encounter to be less threatening, to be friendlier, because you can identify with the individual either using a buzzword or a keyword or a toy or an object.
Exactly.
It's incredible.
Yep.
Wow.
Captain, do you have a feel for how widespread the program is, community-wise?
So right now, I think, my understanding is it started in North Branford and now is coming here. I have to check for other departments,
So
right?
it's still relatively.
Relatively new, yeah.
No.
Yep.
Good.
Couple more things.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so personnel, we lost a dispatcher, no one registered to the Hampton Police Department. He said, in speaking with him, he said he grew up in Hampton and felt he had a better grasp of the landscape and geography. He submitted his resignation on January 2nd, and we anticipate advertising for a dispatcher position in the near future. On a brighter note, Officer Mark Wells and Officer Wyatt Bosma were honored by the Connecticut Police Chiefs Association at the Doubletree Hotel in Bristol, Connecticut. They were presented with the Luciano Award for having the highest scholastic average in their respective academies. So we're very fortunate there. It was a great day for them and for the department.
Wow, that's terrific.
Yep. And recruitment. The South Central Criminal Justice has, they held a entry-level police test yesterday. So typically what happens is within a 2-week window-ish, they have their oral boards and then a final list will come out. And Lieutenant York is in contact with South Central to make sure that we get the list and start looking at recruitment.
Do we know how many people took the test?
Not yet, sir.
Good.
Well, we will have the vacancies.
Yes.
Okay. Next, want to just, any update on the camera request at this point? I know it was going through the approval
Yeah.
process for the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance, so I guess.
That's correct.
It's still in there, okay.
Yep.
So we don't have any.
The
Yeah,
Board
I
of
think the
Selectmen
Board of
approved
Finance
it, now it
did.
has to go to Board of Finance.
Board of
It's
Finance.
next week on the 17th.
Is
Yeah.
it next week?
Yeah.
7.
Okay. Anything else? Can we set?
Sir.
Okay, just before we get into Commissioner comments, one of the things that does fit, both as a new business and as part of the Commissioner comments, as we know, Marietta Lee, who was a long-time, very effective member of this commission, completed her term and did not ask for a reappointment. Marietta, in addition to her other contributions to the Police Commission, also served as vice chair of this commission. It is a position that does have kind of a backup, an important backup role, but it is also one that, you know, as we look at various assignments that we've asked commissioners to undertake, is one that we do think it's important to fill. So at this point, I'm open to any nominations for the position of vice chair for the police commission.
So that being said, I would like to nominate Ann Rumberger as vice chairman of the police commission, just based on everything she's done and everything she can do for us.
Ann, I know you've been a member for a number of years now, and if you're willing to accept it, I'll call for a vote on that nomination.
I'd be honored.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And congratulations. That's with a small C, but congratulations. Anyway, thank you very much for taking that on. My only other, comment is, Captain, I think these quarterly statistics that you presented are helpful and will continue to be helpful to look at some trend lines and some data-driven metrics that I think we can use to demonstrate the use and the importance of resources and how they're utilized. I think all organizations, but particularly one like a police department, law enforcement agency, has both this kind of an emotional aspect to it in terms of image and effectiveness. And then the other side of it is, I think, is going to continue to be very data-driven. What difference does 2 police officers make? What is the trend line? How many times has that occurred? So I'm glad we're utilizing that data, because it's obviously that's part of things you and your leadership team manage. But I think as we look at technology like cameras, at some point we're going to come back to you and Chief Drummond say, so, what difference did it make?
Right.
What happened? How many times? Where? And it's a kind of a management component that we just have to embrace and continue to say, okay, you've been doing this for 25 years. Guess what? You gotta keep learning.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta keep learning. So
Absolutely.
anyway, thank you very much. Any other, Tom, Commissioner comments?
No, sir.
No, no comment.
New vice chair? Thank you. We also have an executive session, topics, one to have a further discussion on the chief's annual performance review, and also to have a brief update, and we think is the final litigation outcome for the cases we dealt with. So is there a motion to adjourn and move to executive session?
Michael, why don't you make a motion?
Motion to adjourn, 5:55?
And move to executive. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll now adjourn to executive session.